I want to share with you all how things have shifted and changed, how my language has changed, how my thought process has changed, how I communicate things has changed. In the first few months following my TFMR, I remember sitting down with my therapist and her being very intentional about language and asking me straight up, like, okay, how do we refer to this? Baby, fetus, like, is there a name, right? And I remember being like aghast, and I was like, pregnancy, fetus. And over time, I started to say him, and I kind of told her about this one thing, how my husband and I had picked out a name, and then that morphed into a nickname. And that took a really long time to tell her about that. And then I started to say baby, and I started to say son. I remember she also asked me, like, do you see yourself as a bereaved parent? And I'm like, no. How dare you ask me that? And now, 19 months later, my husband and I were talking last night, and we said his actual name. We have now started to say his name in conversation. We have now started to talk about him in the context of, like, our children. 19 months ago, I would never have thought that was remotely possible. And so, all this to say, it's okay for things to shift, and it's okay for things to change, and that it's okay for your grief to take on new meaning and take on new words and to embrace things that you didn't think you'd embrace.